One of the most common questions that I get asked during my live streams is how I got rid of my gear fear when playing games like DayZ or Escape from Tarkov. First, let's talk about what gear fear actually means. In games like Escape from Tarkov and DayZ, you can obtain gear in a variety of different ways by looting it, killing other players, or in Tarkov purchasing it from certain traders. Doing so requires time, energy, and skill in some situations. And whenever you get your hands on that gear, there's a certain level of nervousness that comes with it. The fear comes from the knowledge that death can strike at any moment from anyone and from almost any weapon or scavenger. For some new players, that feeling can cause you to leave your gear in your stash to collect some dust, or in the case of DayZ, on a separate private hive just never being used. I can't speak for everybody, but I know when I first started playing DayZ mod and Escape from Tarkov, I experienced an overwhelming fear of losing what I accomplished and forcing me to restart the game or finding new equipment. This comes from the lack of knowledge in the game's weapon mechanics, maps, and not knowing where your enemies might attack you from. In Escape from Tarkov, this can be extremely overwhelming for new players. First, you'll need to learn how to move around the map and extracting. Then you'll need to get better at killing AI before they kill you. And finally, you need to get better at killing other players, which is going to be most of the time your cause of death in every raid. For DayZ, that means something really similar. It means learning the map, how to acquire new weapons, where players tend to move, and how to safely escape during dire situations. So, how can you remove your gear fear? Number 1, learn as much as you can about the game. I know this might sound obvious, but it's true. Learning all the maps, the extractions, and the common player movements is critical. Watching videos and live streams from more experienced players to see what they do and how they play, and practicing in offline mode killing scavengers. Start understanding the attachments, the traders, the ammunition types. Start soaking up as much knowledge as possible. Number 2, use it until you lose it. You'll hear me say this all the time during my streams. When the opportunity presents itself to use an SV98 or DVL, don't be afraid to go on woods and give it a shot. These higher tier weapons can be difficult to acquire at first, but if you learn how to properly use them, you'll be one-tapping PMCs from distances that might be difficult with just an AR. It's better to get an opportunity to play with gear than never do so at all. So currently, the M4A1 is the best weapon in Escape from Tarkov, and you'll find that you'll start gaining a lot of gear when you start using that gun. Sometimes I even get multiple M4s from other players whenever I use it because it's so powerful to use against other players. I find when I use an M4, I gain M4s. Number 3, you gotta put in the time. This goes for any game that you play and most hobbies that you try. The more time you put into the game, the better you'll get. For games like Escape from Tarkov and DayZ, you'll learn after each death. Instead of getting upset when you get killed, try to look back on what you could have done a little bit differently. Remember though, hindsight is 20/20, and for games like Escape from Tarkov, even if you do everything right or make the best decision in a tough situation, you'll most likely still die. That being said, if you think about a different approach that may have yielded you a kill or a survival of your character, then you can remember that for next time. For example, during a woods game, I was shot in the legs, causing one of them to blacken. In a desperate chance to evade, I took a short path down towards the beach to get behind cover. Unknown to me at the time, that hill caused my player to slide and lose his footing, causing me to take fall damage and killing my character. Now I know not to make the same mistake twice whenever I have a blackened limb in a similar area. This is for every death you have though. You learn and become better. You become more knowledgeable. Number 4, don't get discouraged when you die. Now this is probably the most difficult one. I know a lot of you guys tell me that you rage quit DayZ, you get upset at Escape from Tarkov. I get it, I've been there. It's tough, but yeah, sadly, just like our real life counterparts, everyone will die in these survival shooters. It's a fundamental reason on why games like Escape from Tarkov and DayZ are so thrilling. I've uploaded many death montages on my channel before, and I really should do more. There's a reason why I upload something like that. Number one, it's funny to watch the reactions when I bite the dust. Two, it's to show that even after thousands of hours, death can happen at any time. And number three, it shows others that when you die, there is something to be learned in every encounter. So once you've learned more about the game, you practice with the gear, you put in a few hundred hours on the game, and you've died a few times over, you'll notice that you'll begin to get better. You'll die less, and in turn, you'll be using better gear and weapon because your confidence level is going to go up, and using this better gear and equipment will give you a better chance to survive, and the cycle continues. And I guess that's all. There's really nothing else I can get into. It's really just comes down to experience and knowledge. So I hope you guys found this video insightful, and if you have any questions, then please do ask in the comment section below. I'll do my best to get back to you. And of course, thanks for watching.